say I was missing the opportunity even for 5 minutes to talk to you, man. You're an absolute legend in the TNA game. I'm so glad you came back, and I'm so looking forward to see what you do in 2025 because what a year you have had.
Yeah, it's the last 2 years with TNA have been great. And this year in particular, kicking off with TNA rebranding as TNA, I think
Unreal.
that kind of kick-started us into the right path of where we wanted to go. And it's been a very rewarding year for me creatively, personally, professionally. So one of the best of my career. I'm having the time of my life.
I think really just a couple of things that I'd quite like to touch on that has happened this year. And first of all was your monster heel turn at the start of the year against your good old pal EY. Like, what do you prefer? Like, you can pretty much do a bit of everything. You are like just creatively a genius. But what do you prefer when it comes to the more the good guy bad guy kind of role? And how good was that working with EY on that?
Well, first, anytime I can work with talent like Eric Young, I jump at the opportunity. He and I, as it stands right now, are the last of like the original TNA guys, the last of the OGs. So that whole angle creatively wouldn't have worked if I did it with anybody else other than EY, because he's got such equity with the fans and he's so enduring to that fan base. And I had spent the better part of like 6, 7, 8 years as a good guy, and
Yeah.
really just thought it was time for a fresh coat of paint for me, and knew what I wanted to do creatively, and that just I think just that set the trajectory for what I was going to do this year. And this version of Frankie Kazarian you're currently seeing is the closest you're going to get to the real me that I've ever portrayed in my career. So I'm having a great time doing it.
I was going to say, because it is 100%, it feels like this version of Frankie, as you say, is it's some of the best I've seen you do, and I've been watching you for a good like 20 odd years now. We've been watching you do this, and this is like peak Frankie for me. And then of course you moved into a feud with a man who's had a meteoric rise this year, and let's be honest, you've been a big part of that as well. Like the last 5-6 months, you've been chopping up with Joe Hendry, and how's it been working with him in that kind of respect?
Yeah, and him and I aren't done. There's going to be more of that. Look at Joe's had an amazing year. He's an anomaly. What he's done, his ability to promote himself, and as popular as he's gotten, you should hear the live reactions at TNA live events. It's incredible, and he's really enjoying this run. I know that, and I've had a great time kind of being the foil to him and being that thorn in his side. It's he's the perfect Batman to my Joker. That's I think we have a good chemistry in there. We've gotten to know each other very well, and I think we're both kind of going into 2025. The world title picture is still going to be very much focused around Nick Nemeth, obviously, who's currently the champion. Joe Hendry, who's had his opportunities, myself. Guy like Mike Santana, you can't rule out a guy like Moose, can't rule out a guy like Eddie Edwards, and a lot of other new guys coming in. But yeah, it's been a great year being able to be, Joe Hendry's, a nuisance, for lack of better words.
And you've been a world-class troll on the Twitter. I've been absolutely loving your back and forth on Twitter. The poster of you as Joe Hendry was absolutely brilliant. I love seeing that stuff. And I guess with the way TNA is, and given like a lot of creative, and we absolutely are now getting another peak to TNA. It's just growing and growing and growing again. How easy is it for you to come up with stuff like that, your own creative kind of ideas, and put that out to Joe, and just sort of like, right, I'm going to poke the bear a little bit?
Again, I have so much creative freedom there. It's that part is very rewarding. And the stuff that's presented to me, by and large, is also really good stuff too. But the Joe Hendry impersonation, that was an idea I had months ago, and they all loved it. It was just a matter of fitting it in when it would make sense, and it happened to fall on Halloween, which was perfect. It feels good to be asked for creative input. It feels good to be able to have an idea and flush it out with the creative team to make it work. And tell we're telling good stories, man, and creating moments. Wrestling is all about stories and moments. So I'm just happy to help facilitate that. I'm happy to help be a part of the process that overall is going to help TNA grow.
Awesome, awesome, and you're the perfect guy to do it. You've been coming in and out of the company for years, and we all love seeing you there. As a fan of TNA, I always have been unapologetically. Thank you so much for letting me jump on and do this with you today.
Sure.
I want to see you call your shot at Rebellion. Let's do that now because it's in your hometown. So let's do that. Let's do it. But Frankie, honestly, thank you so much for letting me jump on and do this.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me. Thanks for the kind words, man.